The silent warning. The transmission arrived on a rainy Thursday morning, captured simultaneously by listening posts in Chile, Australia, and the Gobi Desert. It was unmistakably artificial, a series of mathematical sequences too precise to be natural phenomena, too complex to be coincidental. Commander Eliza Chen was reviewing satellite imagery of the Pacific Fleet when her secure line buzzed. As the newly appointed director of Earth's Unified Defense Initiative, unexpected calls rarely brought good news. "Ma'am, SETI has intercepted something unusual." The voice belonged to Dr. Amir Sharma, lead astrophysicist at the Deep Space Monitoring Array. "You need to see this immediately." Within 3 hours, Chen stood in a hastily assembled situation room beneath Geneva, surrounded by the world's foremost scientists and military leaders. On the central display, the alien transmission played on loop, while analysts parsed its contents in real time. "They're called the Viridians," explained Dr. Lena Okafor, stepping forward. The xenolinguistics expert had been working without rest since the transmission began. And they're not just saying hello. The Viridian message was both greeting and ultimatum. Their fleet, 27 vessels of varying sizes, would enter Earth's solar system in precisely 96 hours. They required immediate access to Earth's polar regions, all oceanic trenches deeper than 7,000 meters, and exclusive mining rights to the asteroid belt. "They're not asking," General Viktor Sokolov said flatly, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display. "This is a demand with a timeline." The United Earth Security Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from all 196 nations filled the chamber, faces grim as they absorbed the implications of humanity's first contact. "Can we fight them?" asked the Brazilian delegate, voicing the question on everyone's mind. Admiral Harris, chairman of the Global Military Command, stood slowly. "Based on their propulsion signatures alone, they're at least 2 centuries ahead of our best technology. A direct confrontation would be inadvisable." "Then we negotiate," suggested the Chinese representative. "Find common ground, establish diplomatic protocols." Dr. Okafor shook her head. "The linguistic structure of their message suggests they don't view this as a negotiation. They're simply informing us of terms they expect to be met." Commander Chen remained silent throughout the heated debate, her mind calculating possibilities and probabilities. When she finally spoke, the room fell quiet. "We need more information," she said. "We can't fight what we don't understand, and we can't negotiate from a position of ignorance. I propose we appear to comply while gathering intelligence." The Council's approval was unanimous. Operation Shadow was initiated within the hour. As the Viridian fleet approached, Earth prepared a welcoming committee. The specially constructed vessel Diplomatic Envoy departed Earth orbit, carrying linguists, anthropologists, and military observers, all publicly described as ambassadors of humanity. Captain Maya Rodriguez commanded the mission, her face carefully neutral as the massive alien mothership came into view. The Viridian vessel dwarfed hers by orders of magnitude, a sleek construction of what appeared to be liquid metal constantly flowing across its surface. "They're scanning us," reported her tactical officer as energy waves washed over the Diplomatic Envoy. "Every frequency, every spectrum." "Let them look," Rodriguez replied calmly. "We have nothing to hide." The meeting chamber had been constructed according to specifications transmitted by the Viridians. When the airlock cycled open, Rodriguez and her team got their first glimpse of humanity's visitors. The Viridians stood nearly 3 meters tall, their bodies covered in overlapping plates that shimmered with bioluminescence. 6 limbs moved with precise, mechanical efficiency, and their facial features centered around 3 large eyes arranged in a triangle. Communication proceeded through translation devices. The Viridian delegation did not waste time on pleasantries. "Your species occupies valuable resource nodes," stated the lead Viridian, its translated voice eerily flat. "You will relocate all operations from designated extraction zones within 30 of your days." Rodriguez maintained her diplomatic composure. We understand your interest in Earth's resources. Perhaps we can discuss mutual benefit arrangements that—" "This is not a negotiation," interrupted the Viridian. "It is notification. Compliance will be rewarded with continued autonomy in non-extraction zones. Non-compliance will result in forced relocation." When Rodriguez returned to Earth, the Security Council received her report in stunned silence. "They'd done this before," she concluded. "Their language patterns, their procedures. This is routine for them. They've stripped other worlds, other systems." While publicly appearing to consider the Viridian demands, Earth activated its contingency protocols. Military installations went dark. Communication switched to quantum-encrypted channels undetectable by conventional means. In hidden facilities beneath the Atlantic seabed, the Mariana Trench, and the Antarctic ice sheet, humanity began its real preparations. Dr. Wei Zong, the physicist who had revolutionized quantum computing a decade earlier, stood before the assembled engineers and scientists in the Marianas facility. "Every scan is an opportunity," he explained, displaying the Viridian energy signatures. "Their technology broadcasts its capabilities with every interaction. We've learned more about advanced physics in the past week than in the previous century." Around the world, manufacturing centers worked at full capacity, producing components for weapons and defense systems that hadn't existed 2 weeks ago. Spacecraft construction facilities, hidden in asteroid bases beyond Mars, assembled vessels incorporating principles reverse-engineered from Viridian technology. Publicly, Earth capitulated. News broadcasts showed the evacuation of research stations from Antarctica and the deep-sea exploration platforms. Mining operations in the asteroid belt were ostensibly abandoned. President Nadia Volkov addressed the United Nations, speaking of peaceful coexistence and necessary compromise. The Viridians observed these developments with apparent satisfaction. "The humans understand their position," the Viridian commander transmitted to its homeworld. "They submit more readily than predicted. Extraction can begin ahead of schedule." As Viridian harvester ships descended toward Earth's poles, Commander Chen sat in the control center deep beneath Geneva, watching the enemy fleet disperse around the planet. "They're positioning themselves exactly as predicted," noted her strategic advisor. Chen nodded, her expression unreadable. "Send the signal. Operation Shadow enters Phase 2. Throughout the solar system, hidden sensors activated, painting a complete picture of Viridian deployments. Every communication between their vessels was intercepted, decoded, and analyzed using algorithms that grew more sophisticated by the hour. Lieutenant Commander Jabari Washington led the covert observation team from Deimos, Mars's outer moon. His stealth vessel, utilizing adaptive camouflage derived from studying Viridian sensor technology, monitored the alien mining operations at point-blank range. "They're stripping the ice caps at an alarming rate," he reported, "converting water directly into some kind of fuel. Whatever their ships run on, it's derived from simple hydrogen and oxygen." Similar reports arrived from deep-sea monitoring stations. The Viridians had deployed massive harvesting machines that extracted rare earth metals from the ocean floor with ruthless efficiency. "They're taking what they want," General Sokolov observed during the daily security briefing. "And they believe we're doing nothing but watching." Commander Chen's lips curved into a slight smile. "Let them believe that. For now." 73 days after first contact, the Viridians had established full mining operations in all the territories they had demanded. Their fleet, spread thin across the solar system to protect their new assets, maintained minimal communication with Earth's governments. In the shadows of Jupiter's moons, Admiral Katsuro Tanaka surveyed the assembled human fleet -400 vessels constructed in secrecy, crewed by the best pilots and combat specialists Earth had to offer. Each ship incorporated technology derived from careful study of the Viridians' own systems. "Status report," Tanaka commanded, his voice carrying to every vessel in the fleet. "All systems operational," came the response from his executive officer. "Phase-matched shield generators online. Quantum disruption weapons armed and ready. Fleet is at 100% combat readiness. Tanaka nodded once, then opened a channel to Earth Command. Shadow Fleet in position, awaiting final authorization. In Geneva, Commander Chen received the transmission and turned to face the assembled Security Council. "The Viridians gave us an ultimatum," she said quietly. They never expected a response. President Volkov stood. "Then it's time we give them one." Chen pressed her palm against the authorization scanner. Operation Shadow, final phase. Execute. The calculated response. The Viridian harvester ship Abundant Extraction processed ice from Europa's surface, its enormous drills boring deep into the frozen moon. Commander Zextar supervised the operation from the control deck, 6 limbs manipulating holographic interfaces while 3 eyes monitored efficiency metrics. "Production exceeds projections by 17%, he noted with satisfaction. "The human surrender has expedited our timetable significantly." His second-in-command approached, mandibles clicking nervously. "Commander, long-range sensors detect anomalous energy signatures near Ganymede. Solar radiation interference," Zextar dismissed. "This system's star produces frequent electromagnetic pulses. The pattern appears artificial," insisted the subordinate. "And similar readings are being reported near Callisto and Io simultaneously." Before Zextar could respond, the ship's alarms blared. On every display, dozens of vessels appeared seemingly from nowhere, their signatures suddenly visible where moments before sensors had detected nothing. "Impossible," breathed Zextar. "The humans possess no such technology." The first salvo struck before he could issue orders. Quantum disruption beams, based on the Viridians' own weapons technology, but modified to exploit specific weaknesses, sliced through the harvester's shields as if they weren't there. Across the solar system, the scenario repeated itself with precision timing. The hidden human fleet emerged simultaneously at every Viridian outpost, from Mercury's mining stations to the asteroid belt's refineries. Admiral Tanaka's voice transmitted on all frequencies, translated into the Viridian language. "This is Admiral Katsuro Tanaka of the United Earth Defense Fleet. Your presence in our system is no longer welcome. You have 30 minutes to cease all operations and begin withdrawal procedures." In the Viridian command vessel orbiting Mars, Supreme Overseer Vexu Lor received the transmissions with disbelief. How could they have developed such capabilities? He demanded of his War Council. "Our intelligence indicated primitive propulsion systems, rudimentary weapons. They deceived us," realized his chief strategist. "The capitulation, the evacuations, all misdirection." Vexulor's bioluminescent plates flashed with anger. "Deploy the battle fleet. Crush this human resistance immediately." The Viridian warships moved to engage, confident in their technological superiority. That confidence evaporated when their first volley of energy weapons passed harmlessly through human vessels, absorbed by phase-matched shields, specifically calibrated to Viridian attack frequencies. In the command center beneath Geneva, Commander Chen watched the battle unfold across holographic displays. Every Viridian move was anticipated, every countermeasure already calculated. "They're attempting to regroup near Mars," reported her tactical officer, "consolidating their forces for a concentrated assault." Chen nodded. "Just as predicted. Admiral Tanaka, proceed with Phase 3. Near Mars, the human fleet appeared to retreat, drawing the Viridian forces into pursuit. As the alien vessels followed, hidden installations on Phobos and Deimos activated, enveloping the Viridian fleet in a quantum disruption field that rendered their drives inoperable. Aboard his flagship, Admiral Tanaka watched the trapped Viridian vessels with grim satisfaction. "All ships, execute precision strikes, target propulsion, and weapon systems only." The battle was short and decisive. Unable to maneuver or return fire effectively, the Viridian fleet found itself at the mercy of weapons designed specifically to counter their technology. Across the solar system, human forces systematically disabled Viridian mining operations and support vessels. The strategy wasn't annihilation but immobilization, rendering the invaders harmless without unnecessary destruction. Supreme Overseer Vexulor stared at the battle displays in disbelief as reports of defeat flooded in from throughout the system. "Impossible," he repeated. "No species has ever." How could they have? When the communication channel opened, Commander Chen's face appeared on his display. "This is Commander Eliza Chen of Earth's Unified Defense Initiative. Your forces have been neutralized. Your mining operations have been shut down. You are defeated." Vexulor's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation. "The Viridian Dominion controls 17 star systems. We have subjugated 12 sentient species. You cannot hope to stand against our full might." Chen's expression remained neutral. "We have no interest in your other conquests, Overseer. Our concern is this system alone. Allow me to be perfectly clear. Earth is not negotiating. We are notifying. You have 6 hours to gather your personnel and depart our system. Any Viridian vessel remaining after that time will be permanently disabled." In the observation lounge of the UES Determination, Captain Maya Rodriguez watched alongside Dr. Lena Okafor as the Viridian command ship prepared to depart. "They never expected resistance," Okafor noted. "Their records show they've encountered other species at our approximate technological level. Those species fought immediately, using obvious defenses, and were quickly overwhelmed." Rodriguez nodded. "They expected either immediate surrender or immediate resistance. Our patience confused them." "Not just patience," Okafor corrected. "Strategy. Humanity didn't react. We calculated. We didn't fight on their terms. We changed the rules entirely." As the last Viridian vessel disappeared into faster-than-light travel, Commander Chen addressed the United Earth Security Council. "The immediate threat has been neutralized," she reported. "But we must assume the Viridians will return, potentially with reinforcements. Their empire spans multiple star systems, and they won't easily accept this defeat." President Volkov leaned forward. "What do you recommend, Commander?" "We continue building," Chen replied without hesitation. "We've learned more about advanced physics in the past 3 months than in the previous millennium. Every scan they took of Earth, every weapon they fired, every communication they sent, all of it taught us something valuable." She gestured to a holographic display showing newly designed spacecraft incorporating fully understood Viridian principles. "When they return, humanity will be ready, not just to defend our system, but to take our place among the stars." 1 year later, the Viridian homeworld received an unexpected transmission. It contained no ultimatum, no threat, only a simple message encoded in mathematical sequences. "We know where you are. We know what you've done to other worlds. We have chosen to remain in our system for now, but this is our choice, not your reprieve. Remember Earth. Remember what happened when you thought us weak. We will be watching." The message was signed, Humanity. In deep space, beyond the heliosphere of Sol, early warning outposts staffed by human crews monitored the void between stars. They watched for the return of the Viridians or the approach of other potential threats. Commander Chen, now Admiral Chen, stood on the observation deck of humanity's first true interstellar vessel, watching as Earth receded into the distance. "They thought we would beg," she said quietly to Captain Rodriguez, standing beside her. "They thought we would fight conventionally and lose. They never considered that we would simply watch, learn, and wait for the perfect moment." Rodriguez nodded. "A lesson they won't soon forget." "A lesson for anyone who might underestimate humanity," Chen corrected. "We don't negotiate with ultimatums. We don't respond with desperate measures. We calculate. We prepare. And when the time is right." She turned from the viewport to face the bridge of the vessel that would carry humanity's representatives to the stars. "We walk away from the fight on our terms, leaving our enemies broken behind us." The starship Undaunted accelerated, carrying the first human diplomatic and scientific mission beyond the solar system, not as frightened refugees or conquering warriors, but as equals ready to take their place in a wider universe, prepared for whatever challenges awaited among the stars.